There are different approaches people take to this argument. And I want to give you a menu of options for responding to it. One option is to deny premise 3. To deny that if determinism is true, then nobody ever acts freely. And this view is called compatibilism. It says free will and determinism are compatible. It says it's a mistake to think that determinism rules out free will. And so this kind of approach is going to play up the idea that to be free, you've got to be the source of your actions. And it's going to play down the idea that to be free, you've got to be able to do otherwise. This approach says, well, look, maybe there's this chain of causes going back to the Big Bang or whatever that guaranteed, determined that you would have a certain combination of beliefs and desires. And that combination of beliefs and desires caused you to do something. But you still did it because you wanted to do it. And wanting to do it is good enough to be free. That's compatibilism. Now, let's talk about incompatibilism. And there's a bunch of different ways to be an incompatibilist. Core idea behind incompatibilism is that free will and determinism are incompatible. You can't have both. And then under this heading, there's a bunch of different ways to be an incompatibilist. One way to do it is to be a libertarian about free will. And somebody who accepts libertarianism about free will is going to say we've got free will, so determinism is false. And there's different ways to be a libertarian. One is to deny premise 1, the principle of universal causation. So somebody who's a libertarian in this sense is going to say, look, yeah, we talked about crop circles and how crop circles have to have a cause, but not every event necessarily has to have a cause. You might have noticed that humans, like us, we're weird in certain ways, and we're different from the rest of nature. Maybe one of the ways in which we're weird is that we can act without causes. That's one way to be a libertarian. Another sort of libertarian is going to deny premise 2 of the argument. Somebody like that's going to say, look, maybe every event has a cause, but that doesn't mean determinism is true. They say, think about our best laws of physics. Our best laws of physics aren't deterministic. For example, if you got a particle right here, and you at a certain time, the laws of nature tell you the particle might move here or it might move here, but they don't guarantee or entail, just from knowing the position of the particle here in the laws of nature, that it's going to end up here or here. All we've got is there's a certain probability that it'll end up here and a certain probability that it'll end up here. And so maybe when I took a sip from my cup, and maybe there's like a chain of causes going back to the Big Bang or whenever leading up to me drinking from the cup. But maybe when I get to the moment where I'm about to drink, the laws of nature don't tell me what I'm going to do. I'm caused to drink, but I wasn't caused to drink rather than not drink, or it wasn't guaranteed that I would drink or not drink. There's this chain of causes leading up to my decision. There's a certain probability that I'll drink, a certain probability that I won't, but the laws of nature don't guarantee that I'll drink. Okay, so that's libertarianism. Then there's a more pessimistic view called hard determinism, and hard determinism just accepts the argument. It says, yep, the argument works, we're not free. Determinism is true, so we lack free will. Then there's the most pessimistic theory of all, hard incompatibilism. Hard incompatibilism is the view that there's no free will if determinism is true, there's no free will if determinism is false. Either way, we're screwed. Either way, we don't have free will.